Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about Mars, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of an intro into Mars as a planet and what it means in your birth chart. So I just want to apologize if there's any issues with audio. My microphone sucks, so if there's any weird noises, that's what that's from. Sorry. So in my last planet series, which was Venus, I asked you guys to kind of vote in the comment section on what planet you wanted to see next, and not all of you said Mars, but the majority of you seemed to want me to do Mars, so that's why I'm doing it. If you didn't want Mars, you wanted something else, don't worry, I'm eventually going to cover all planets. Some point or another. In time. In due time. So if you're like, what are you talking about with Mars? I thought I was a Leo. Well, that's your sun sign. If you're more, starting out in the beginning of astrology and you're not really sure what I'm talking about, make sure to go check out your birth chart. I'll put a link below and an app that I find helpful so you can find out where your Mars is. I'm also going to show you my Mars, just so if you're looking at your birth chart, especially like a picture of your birth chart and not like a write-up, you will be able to see where your Mars is. So if you look at my birth chart, so you can see from my birth chart, my Mars, which is this symbol, is placed in Sagittarius, which is this symbol. So if you're looking at your birth chart, you just want to find the Mars and see what astrological sign your Mars is in, and that will show you where your Mars is. So this series, I'm going to be splitting it up into 4 parts. I'm going to be doing having your Mars in an air sign, having your Mars in a water sign, and an earth sign, or a fire sign. So just be patient, and those videos will come out, and I will cover having your Mars in all of 12 signs in 4 different videos. So let's get into what Mars really is all about. So Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. So it rules Aries, which is kind of where life begins. Aries is kind of in control of the first house. And it also rules Scorpio, which is kind of where life ends. Scorpio has a lot to do with death, and as well as the 8th house, which Scorpio kind of rules over. Mars has a lot to do with your energy and your initiative. Mars is masculine in expression and has a lot to do with your physical self. Like I said, it has a lot to do with your energy and your passions. And it can also kind of be involved in tensions if Mars is not in the easiest placement and it's in more of a challenging placement. It has a lot to do with how we go about getting things that we want. It has to do with the way we go after our goals in life, but on the other side of things, it has to do with how we defend ourselves, especially when we feel like we're being attacked. It's kind of like this raw power, and when it's used correctly, it can really help somebody attain, what it is that they want. When it's not really harnessed properly and it kind of gets out of control, it can really become a problem in a chart, and it might have a lot to do with anger issues that a person may be experiencing. Mars can be such a driving force that if it is in a more challenging or harder placement, a person might kind of struggle with being overly consumed by their own personal needs and getting what they want at any expense. When this becomes a primary focus, Mars can get a person into trouble. It might cause them to make rash decisions or get into fights or arguments. And Mars sometimes can really promote competition, and of course this can be a really great thing. It can be a great positive driving force, or it can be, negative competition, and kind of doing whatever it takes to get what you want. So it can easily be good or it can go bad. Mars definitely can have a bad rep throughout the history of astrology and, continually in today's modern astrology. I think Mars sometimes gets a bad rep. And that's kind of because it's overly associated with anger and violence. It can have to do with anger-related crime, with injuries, with accidents, with tempers and fights and arguments. But on the positive end, we can't forget that it's a person's strength. It's what drives them. It's what gives them the courage to go after what it is that they want in life. It can make really good things happen in a person's life, and if Mars is used properly, it can be really beneficial. It's just getting to the point where you understand what your Mars is and how to really properly use it for your benefit. Without Mars, we wouldn't have that drive of being passionate about our lives and doing things to get ourselves where we want to be. Mars can have a lot to do with your courage, with your, physical self, with sports, with athleticism, with struggles, and, like I said, arguments or fight. It can have something to do with your selfishness or selflessness. It has a lot to do with activity, but also with war, and with aggressive urges, or physical urges. And of course, Mars has a lot to do with passion. So that's kind of an intro to Mars, and like I said, I'm going to be doing 4 different parts and going over, you know, what having your Mars in Aries means, what having your Mars in Gemini means, and Aquarius, and Taurus, and Scorpio, and Capricorn, and Sagittarius, and everything like that. So I will be going over that in the next coming weeks. I won't necessarily be doing these every week, but definitely look out for them if you're interested in this. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any interest in my second channel, you can check that out. Mostly I've been doing pregnancy-related videos as of now, and I am almost at my due date, so if you're interested in that part of my life, go to Life with Grace or just click the link below in my info box. That is it. That is all. Have a good day or night.